Thank you for staying tuned. Recall, we brought you news regarding the media aide to the immediate past governor of Edo State, and that's Godwin Obaseki, says the probe of his principal's administration is smokescreen. And to uncover that, we're joined by a political analyst, Ibrahim Momoh. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me on.
All right, let me start with your impression of what you make of this probe. Do you see this as being a personal vendetta or not?
Well, in the nature of Nigeria's politics, it's a given that oftentimes when there are a transition between one government and another, particularly from different political parties, there's always the tendency of a probe of the last government administration, previous government administration. Even sometimes when we have seen governors, incumbents of the same party as their predecessors, like you are seeing in Rivers between Fubara and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. I thought the first thing is that it's a normal run-in-the-mill kind of thing in Nigeria that after one administration takes over from another, there's always this kind of probe. In Edo, historically too, Governor Obaseki, the immediate past Governor Obaseki, took over from Adams Oshiomhole, and we knew that in the course, even though Adams Oshiomhole had a hand in his administration come to power, there were these probes, very well publicized probes that were done. So it's not out of place, in my opinion. But the only challenge is that now we're seeing that there's a twist. It's a way of rewriting the narrative that perhaps it is just to becloud, in the words of Crusoe, my friend Crusoe, that perhaps to becloud, the issues around poor governance. Maybe that's where I think there's a little bit of disagreement as to whether the probe is necessary or not.
But do you really think there's any rationale for Monday Okpebholo, governor of Edo State, probing the past administration, and that's the government of Godwin Obaseki? Is there any rationale behind that probe?
Yeah, there are very founded reasons why perhaps those probes should hold. One is that there was some level of discontent from the populace in the states regarding, some of the policies of the past administration, and people have, or some have argued that one of the things that worked in favor of the incumbent governor was the fact that a lot of misgivings regarding the policies of that administration. So it is not out of place that there are some bases, well-founded bases for it. For example, during the last administration, there's a place called Okoroma in the state capital. A new layout, the government took over the land, a whole swath of land and the community bulldozed whatever property or structure that were in place and took over the land. So that's something that people have all, in fact, they have been agitating and going to court. Several persons have gone to court, all that agitating. Something that in the state university, Ambrose University, for example, state-owned university, there have been issues around, governance, poor governance or issues. In the state-owned investments that were put in place by the last administration, 2 refineries where mostly the state has a stake or interest. There has been a Oshiomhole power plant where the state is said to have interest. There's a ShopRite that is being built. There is a Radisson Blue Hotel being built. So there are issues of, that grounded issues on which they should be proved, the government may want to prove, to ascertain or unravel what are the real issues, what's the true state of things between what was said or by the last government and what is actually the activities of or the situation of things regarding those parts of issues of governance that the last government engaged in. So yes, there are several grounds on which the current state government may want to probe, the past administration. But whether it will lead to a kind of outcome and that this government is expecting is a different ballgame.
Now, talking about outcome, Mr. Momoh, we've seen cases whereby a panel for probe is set up, and then after the findings of the probe, there seems not to be anything regarding implementing or carrying out, prosecution of any party found culpable, after investigation. Do you think this government, and that's the government of Edo State now, will have that political will to implement findings of this probe?
Well, it's first of all to first see what the outcome will be. But like you have pointed out correctly, if we are going to go by previous experience, locally in Edo and nationally in Nigeria writ large, we could say that the likelihood of following through with the implementation of these policies is almost zero, because several probes, in fact, as little as a white paper that would unearth what is government position on that probe panel report that was submitted. We don't even get white papers, not talk of implementing. But it speaks to the fact that there are sometimes there is a political undertone, maybe to cajole or to witch hunt, if you may, So as a result of that, there might not be action, because if there's no real basis for a probe, it's just a witch hunt. Right? But in some of the issues, in this particular instance, I think that there are critical issues, where it is the community. Because there are cases flying around that perhaps private interest or fund private interest. If that is the case, then, of course, the government might want to take action. But again, it might just be that there's no basis for it. It can just be people which are just to silence the opposition or the government of the opposition or the people in the opposition. So time, I think, will tell, really.
And that's a fine place to wrap up or press for time. Thank you so much for your insight on the news. Ibrahim Momoh, political analyst. Many thanks indeed.